Hello, my little cheapskate! You've tuned in today to learn about the top 7 fun, reliable, and affordable motorcycle you can buy today. And fret not, I mean that with endearment. Your old dear Papa Yam is a bit of a cheap bastard himself. What can I say? I'm just trying to maximize the value of my dollars spent. So whether you're a broke college kid with a part-time job, a returning rider who just wants to dip their toes in, or an unemployed foot model collecting unemployment ever since you got your OnlyFans account deactivated, I can empathize and help you out today. So let's delve into the budget-conscious Venn diagram and find those bikes that offer plenty of smiles per gallon without blowing up your bank account or your engine. I know you've got that deposit down on a brand new Ducati, as well as an organ harvester on speed dial and a black X written in Sharpie on your left kidney, but hold the phone. The trinity of fun, reliable, and affordable motorcycles thankfully encompasses many bikes, some of which you might actually be surprised by. So sit tight and let's get started. We're coming in hot at number 7 with the Suzuki GSX-S750. This motorcycle is Suzuki's long forgotten middle child. It has eluded spec sheet evangelists and sport bike street squids for far too long. It is time this motorcycle got the attention it deserves. It's a detuned GSX-R750 motor, so you're getting that esteemed K5 sport bike DNA without the back-breaking ergonomics or the track-biased power band. Gixxer squids around the world relentlessly praise the Gixxer 750 as the pinnacle of super sport performance, so if there is even a single ounce of validity to that, the Gixxer 750 has got to be pretty decent, right? This motorcycle makes about 112 horsepower, has a predictable and usable power delivery, and even has basic safety features like ABS and traction control. But the best part is they're so underrated, they can be picked up for peanuts. They sold for barely $8,000 brand new until 2022. And now used models can be found for $5,000, $6,000, or $7,000 depending on the mileage and condition. Why settle for something like a Ninja 650 with a tractor engine for a similar price when you can get that inline 4 Scream 110 ponies and bulletproof Suzuki reliability instead? It is a bit heavy and very much last gen, but it's simple, decently quick, and offers pretty great value. It might not be a true GSXR or have the iconic appeal of a Ninja, but do you really care about the approval of sport bike riders who only have their GEDs and you're paying nearly double the price to get 10 more horsepower and fairings? I don't think so. Get that Gixxer 750 all day. The MT-07 has been a revered addition to Yamaha's motorcycle lineup for practically a decade, but before it earned its moniker of Master of Torque, it was simply the FZ-07. Despite the different code name, the FZ-07 shares the same core mechanical components as its more fashionable successor, especially when you consider the MT-07 didn't get a significant update until the most recent model year. The FZ-07 uses the same old 689cc parallel twin that's been tested for years across the MT, Tenere, and R7 platform. The engine delivers 75 horsepower and 50 foot-pounds of torque, which may sound scant compared to high-revving inline 4s, but it's very usable, a ton of fun, and incredibly addictive. The torquey engine, lightweight chassis, and short wheelbase make this bike feel more like an overgrown supermoto than a normal street bike. The FZ-07 was made back when Yamaha wasn't trying to pretend that this bike was meant for anyone other than degenerates and hooligans. No traction control, no upside down forks, just wheelies, a bald rear tire, and an eBay exhaust can. And these things practically maximize the fun per dollar ratio. These bikes have always provided really good value even at factory MSRP pricing, but now that the MT-07 has a decade of experience under its belt, the FZ-07 can be bought for like $5,000 or less, and there really is no concern for reliability. Yamaha killed it with the CP2 engine, and regardless of how hard they're abused or beaten on, they really can run forever without any question. I've never seen anything go wrong with these motors. The 650 middleweight twins class is jam-packed full of fun bikes these days, but the old school FZ-07 really started it all, and you can get a great deal on one. You can't talk about affordable fun without talking about the Suzuki DRZ400. This bike has more lore than Warhammer 40K and Lord of the Rings combined. Whether you're an aspirational dual sport savant with a mounted milk crate and a subscription to Field and Stream, or a sumo squid with Nike Dunks and a suspended driver's license, the DRZ is a bike of the people. The DRZ400 is such a reliable and proven platform, Suzuki themselves couldn't even figure out how to improve it during its 25-year run. Even after releasing the brand new DRZ4, they realized they'd kinda cracked the code for a fun, reliable dual sport and couldn't bring themselves to deviate from the original engine design. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess. But where the Suzuki DRZ4 falls short, the original bike still reigns supreme in the realm of affordability. Why pay the $9,000 MSRP for a brand new DRZ4 from the salesman in a dry-fit Polo at the dealership when you could pay $3,000 for a DRZ400 from a guy in a no-fear shirt who already did the 3x3 airbox mod? The DRZ makes about 38 horsepower and 28 foot-pounds of torque, which is really plenty for a dual sport of this size. The 5-speed gearbox can leave you wanting for more if you spend too long at highway speeds, but that's not really what this bike is for. It's for ripping around town on supermoto wheels or taking a shortcut through some forest roads while your buddies on sport bikes have to take the toll road, while being sure to cover their license plate to shield their pocketbooks from Uncle Sam's greedy fingers. I'm not saying I've ever covered up my plates for tolls, but I'm also not saying I haven't. Okay, KTM might not be the benchmark for reliability these days, but their 390 platform, which is made in partnership with Bajaj, has been around for 10 years at this point, and they're pretty well proven to be as reliable as any other 400 class bike. In many aspects, these bikes are punching well above the rest of the weight class. KTM produces the Duke, RC, Adventure, and SMCR in 390 configurations, and the 390 Enduro. Yeah, that's a lot of bikes, but they figured out an engine design that doesn't go nuclear after 10,000 miles, so they're trying to make the very most of it. Each of these bikes, except for the RC, uses the recently updated 399cc single-cylinder engine, which was beefed up from 373cc's a few years back. Although the 373 still remains in the RC 390, don't ask me why. These engines are fun, peppy, and bring a good playful energy to each respective machine. Regardless of the flavor that you want, Fast Boy, Street Squid, Junior ADV Dad in Training, Super Motardist, or Hard Enduro Wannabe, each bike is super well equipped for the category that they're in. You've got adjustable WP suspension, a TFT dash with ride modes and switchable rear wheel ABS, and even launch control on some of these models. Why would you be launching a 390 using launch control? I don't really know. I guess I haven't drank enough of the orange Kool-Aid to understand the idiosyncrasies of an orange bleeder yet. These bikes are already pretty affordable based on MSRP, but with KTM's tough year and the way they've been spamming dealers with unsold inventory, you can find the 390 bikes for $5,000 brand new or less out the door. It's kind of hard to justify $7,000 out the door for a KRT Edition Ninja 400 in the face of KTM deals like that. You probably already knew it was coming, but you can't talk about fun, reliable, and affordable without mentioning the SV650. The SV650 is the figurehead of broke bikers everywhere, and for good reason. It really kind of is the perfect package for nearly everybody. Fun, versatile V-twin engine, super easy to find, and incredibly cheap to purchase and own. It's like if a Ducati Monster's parents left it in the dumpster behind a Toyota dealership and it lived under the rest of its life in the guardianship of 2 Toyota Corollas. And if that doesn't get you excited about the SV650, I don't know what will. This bike's been around since the late 90s, and it just refuses to die. It's been haunting Suzuki's lineup like the ghost of Y2K past, and it seems like only recently is it finally being put out to production pasture in the wake of the ever-extrapolating GSX-8 platform. The Suzuki SV650 uses a 645cc V-twin that makes about 75 horsepower. It's fun, predictable, and happy to teach you about riding motorcycles without boring you to pieces in the process. They've been sold in countless different varieties, from fully naked to half fared to whatever the hell Suzuki tried to do with the Gladius at one point. They've sold just shy of 1 billion of these machines. That's an actual figure, so they can be found wherever you reside for $3,000 to $5,000 easily. And while some of the more wretched units can cost less, you can use an SV650 to commute, to ride the twisties, or take it to your local track It's down for whatever and eager to please, like a Labrador retriever when you show up to the kennel with a gimp mask and a jar full of peanut butter. Fun is a relative term. What is fun for you might not be fun for someone else. I think it's fun exploring your mother's erogenous zones, whereas I can only assume that you do not. And bearing this in mind, the next motorcycle on the list today is one of motorcycling's most humble little donkeys, the KLR650. Look, riding a KLR is not going to earn you an invitation to sit at the lunch table with the hot boy S1000RR riders, but that doesn't mean it can't have a little fun. All it takes is the band geek to lose her glasses and let her hair down for all the jocks to realize she's the prettiest girl in school. I'm not imploring you to make sweet, tender love to a KLR650 on prom night, by the way. I'm just saying that sometimes you can find companionship in the most unlikely of places. The KLR is truly a living fossil. It's not flashy, it's not modern, but it's bound to outlive an entire generation if all those damn Zoomers don't put their vapes down. The KLR is fun because it challenges you to push its limits. Take it down the fire road, take it on a camping trip, pour maple syrup into the engine case. It wants it, it needs it. The KLR relishes in pain. Speaking of mechanical malpractice, the KLR is about as reliable as it gets. These bikes run forever, despite the fact that Kawasaki never remedied whatever the hell that doohickey thing is. These bikes will run forever, whether you like it or not. You don't ride a KLR to be flashy, you ride a KLR because the voices in your head told you Bolivia is really nice this time of year. We're rounding out today's list with a little bit of an oddball, something cheap, reliable, and downright dangerous for the novice rider, the Yamaha FZ1. This bike is essentially a last-gen leader bike with upright ergonomics and a 401k plan. Imagine if the R1 had an older brother who went away to business school and then left the R1 to fend for itself with meth head parents. The FZ1 uses a detuned 998cc inline 4 that's good for about 150 horsepower and 78 foot-pounds of torque, which by my metrics is plenty of power to have a little bit of fun with. You can find these bikes for like $5,000 used, and they'll be twice as fast as those boring, lame parallel twin bikes that cost twice as much. As far as reliability goes, it's a detuned inline 4 from Yamaha. Unless you lent it to a mermaid who used it to deliver Uber Eats underwater in Atlantis, it's probably gonna run forever with no issues. Although I have heard the Stater might have something to say about that. It might not be as flashy or as aggressive as modern hypernakeds, but it is certainly a nice piss missile for the business professional who wants to fly under the radar. Every clout chaser who has taken on predatory loans to buy a flagship leader bike should take a lesson from the FZ1. Instead of spending $25,000 on an S1000RR, buy an FZ1 for $5,000 and use the remaining $20,000 to buy Instagram followers to grow your social capital. So there you have it, folks, the top 7 motorcycles that are fun, reliable, and affordable. These bikes are proof that you do not need to pimp your wife out to OnlyFans just to fund your two-wheeled lifestyle. Did I miss your favorite budget bike? Let me know down in the comments. Suzuki Bandit guys always like to talk about how they only spend $2,000 on their bike and they can do everything that an H2 can. I'm sure we're gonna hear about them if we haven't already in the comment section. Speaking of cheap bikes, we have a new giveaway starting on August 1st. Head over to yamidude.co and get signed up and get a head start on earning entries to win that bike. You're not gonna wanna miss it. It is a good one, very hyped and very excited for it. Thanks as always for watching. I'll catch you later. Fact. Mark Twain was born in 1835 during Halley's Comet's appearance and eerily died the day after its return in 1910, just as he predicted. Goodbye.